Yes, I have.
Oh.
We don't gotta talk. We don't gotta talk about it.
But I got there, and I was on time.
Yes,
you know, I'm not.
And you got us home. How about that?
Yes, I know.
How about that? I'm not sure we should say that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, we were.
That is so funny.
We shouldn't say that.
I'm sorry. Should we cut that out? I don't know.
Right. Cut that out. I drove sober. I was very sober that day.
But.
Ooh, Margaritas with the Margaret.
This episode of Margaritas with Margaret was edited and co-produced by Gautii Chicago.
Hey everyone, and happy Black History Month, and welcome to Margaritas with Margaret, the podcast where I connect with Chicago-based rising stars. I'm your host, Margaret, and today I'm sitting here with a dear friend of mine, Kaori Semaj. He is a Chicago native and the visionary behind Gautii and Gautii Couture. He blends bold, avant-garde elements with accessible fashion, and he has launched 6 collections with Shein, joining the Shein X program in 2021. Kaori's background in fine and performance art informs his unique vision, making his collections both creative and commercial successes. By making high fashion more affordable and accessible through Shein X, Kaori is democratizing style and empowering individuals to express themselves confidently. Cheers to that.
Hey, cheers.
If I can get it.
Right.
There we go. Cheers. We'll drink. Oh.
Yep, thank you for the top off.
Delicious. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Feeling
you look
good.
Great.
Drink is good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I love what you're wearing.
Thank you so much.
And I love what I'm wearing.
Thank you.
And this is one of yours.
Yes. Yep.
That's one of our pieces. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this was one of the pieces that we did with our second collection with Shein. This one was a lot of the things that I've done as far as fashion. I love juxtaposing just things. And so I like to think, I used to say that my style was very garage glamour, which had a lot to do with the fact that we spend a lot of time in our garage. But also, like, I'll be looking like this, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like this rock and roll, but definitely glamorized a bit.
I love it.
Thank you so much. It looks great.
And can we order this still on your link?
Currently, no. I might come out with another variation of it at some point, which is actually what we just did recently. We have a couple pieces that just released on Shein that were from this collection, but we came out with in a different colorway. And so we might, but as of right now, this piece is sold out. So
I'm glad that you brought that up because I had all these questions. This is our third time the charm.
Girl.
But I just thought of a question. So when you have something on your link, that's it. Once it's gone, and then you create a new thing.
Yeah, well, it depends. So this was one of the things that were restocked. So typically the way that it goes is we budget for a certain amount of pieces.
Okay.
And so those come out. And depending on how well they do, then we'll continue to restock. So Shein will either restock it automatically themselves, or I have the option to kind of pull from my budget and say, hey, I would like to push this again. And so we restock based on really what sales are doing, the amount of clicks that we're getting on pieces, and that kind of determines how long. And this is one of those pieces that kind of went for quite a while until it kind of teetered out towards the summer after we had released it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was another thing I really want to push. So when we're having this conversation, I want to make sure that people who are watching know exactly how to order from you. Because I love Shein, and I'm always ordering all these outfits from Shein, and I'm like, I need to order Kaori's items, but I don't because I'm like having a problem with like finding it. But tell us how we can find it.
So super simple. So if you're on Instagram, my Instagram will be in the video. It's Kaori Semaj. I have links. One of those links will take you to this collection, and then I also just recently launched a curated collection. So some pieces I found throughout the site that I think really speak to the aesthetic of what Gautii is all about. And so if you want to get that Gautii aesthetic that we're known for, but let's say this piece is out of stock, I might have something similar, always with the accessories and things like that. Everything that's on trend for what we do as far as our aesthetic would be in that curated link. So we have 2 links where, again, you can get the collection. And so we have some pieces from our more recent collections, the one that we did with Anita, and then the few pieces that came back from that initial collection that you're wearing. And then we have the curated collection as well. So there's 2 links there. Or you can literally search Kaori Semaj.
Okay. In Shein, like you can go Shein. On Shein, just type at the top Kaori Semaj.
Or Gautii. Yeah.
Okay.
So Gautii.
And then all that will pop up.
Yep.
So that was another thing I brought up. What I just thought about as you were speaking. When you're getting all these orders, does it tell you like where it's from or like who's ordering it?
No, it doesn't actually. And I wish it did. That's such a good question. That'd be great. What I can say is really cool. I always go and look at the reviews. Okay. I look at the reviews for fit, for functionality, so that moving forward, I know what things are working, what things aren't working. And typically our reviews are really, really good. And what's really cool is I'm constantly having to hit the translate button because it's literally people from all over the world getting these things.
So international, really cool. You guys. International designer.
Yeah, international celebrity.
Tell designer. Us about Anita because we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, we sure didn't even bring that up. Yeah,
tell us who that is, that event. Tell us all about that.
So Anita is it's so funny. It sounds so funny to say, but it's true. She's a Brazilian pop superstar. And she just recently actually, so the last press run that I was doing with Shein was a little bit right after we did the collection with Anita. And so those pieces, so she, there was a competition more or less. Okay. And so we were selected. I think it was, I forget what the initial number was, maybe like 1,000 or something like that weird. And so that got narrowed down to 20 designers. And then from there, it was narrowed down to 8 designers. So I was one of 8 designers. Oh, wow. One of 2 designers from the United States. Oh. So it was people from all over the world coming together to design this collection for her. And yeah, I was one of 2 Americans that got in. And it was an amazing experience. I got to fly out to New York to meet her for the launch party. That was a great experience. Yeah, and so I say celebrity designer.
Cheers to that.
This coaster, man, is
right? Like it's gonna be whatever. It's fine.
You don't got used to Coaster, Margaret. It's all good.
It's fine.
You good?
So you went all the way to New York.
Yeah.
And you were selected from. At first, it was 30. You said, right?
No, it went from. I want to say it was 1,000 to 20 to 8. How
did you know, or like get the opportunity to even, apply?
So I have Shein just treats me really well. I should say that. And I'm glad that we're redoing this because I didn't say that enough. Okay. They treat me very well. And I think that, so all the designers that work with Shein in the Shein X program, we have coordinators. Okay. We have one that's overseas in China, and we have one that is in the United States. And so I'm blessed in that constantly my project coordinator from LA is constantly saying, hey, we have this opportunity for this. I think you'd be good at it. Yeah. Can you draft some pieces in a few hours? I'm like, hi, you know what I mean? So depending, if it's something that resonates, because there's some things that opportunities that have come across our desk that just didn't resonate with our brand. And so we kind of let those go, but I thought that the Anita thing was pretty spot on.
So when you tell me that you have to sketch something quickly, tell us the process that you go through.
Well, it's not always quickly. Well, so how's it work? Well, I typically start with a sketch. Typically, I just have a bunch of ideas going on in my head. And what I'll do is I'll draw these legit like stick. If you can imagine like the stop sign guy, not the stop sign guy, but the people.
Felix or whatever.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh. No, not him. That's way more. The little man on the bathroom stall. Yeah, okay. Yeah. If you can imagine that all of my pieces, okay, I draw a little person like that.
Oh my God.
And that's like, even what you're wearing, that's kind of how I just get it on paper. And then from there, I'll take it to a more detailed croquis, which is a sketch of a figure. And then from there, I'll get a technical drawing made of it. And then at that point, I assemble what's called a tech pack, which more or less, have you ever put together like a piece of furniture or something? No, not even IKEA. No. Okay.
And I love that you brought that up because I literally have friends
who do those
I'll
things.
be like, hey, Samantha, shout out to you
That
right
is
now.
so funny.
And she's gonna see this and be like, yes,
That's me.
that's me. I literally, she puts everything together.
So a tech pack more or less is so those instructions that you'll get to like put this table together, for example, that's more or less what a tech pack is to something in fashion. And so I take that technical sketch and I basically it's a blueprint of how to put this garment together. Yeah. And so it's what type of stitching, what type of fabric, how we're laying the fabric for a stretch, the buttons, the everything, and how to construct this thing. So it's instructions for those, for the pattern maker, for one, because I don't make those patterns. So the pattern maker gets that. And then it's, again, literally a blueprint of how to put this together. At that point, I see the sample. Fingers crossed, it's great. And then it goes into bulk production. As
you were talking, though, I was going to say, so the sketch that you were going through, what design did Anita end up wearing from you?
So she wore, so I think there were 6 pieces that, and I made 20 pieces.
Oh, wow.
And those 20 pieces got narrowed to those 6 pieces. And I think what was cool about it was I had a bunch of different things. I had some super sexy things and I also had some sporty things. And I just knew that she was going to pick the super sexy things because that's just what her aesthetic is. But from our stuff, she picked the sporty things, which I think was kind of cool because even for that 20 piece collection that we made, that was kind of like the breath in between what that collection was because it was super sexy. But I wanted to kind of show the idea of this one particular woman, you know, with just these different phases of how she might decide to dress or whatever. And she went with those things, which was totally unexpected.
Do you have like pictures of her or videos?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sure. Yep, sure can. Yep.
And then you said pop star of Brazil.
Brazilian, yeah.
And you also, before we even start shooting, you brought up that you don't like to do comparisons, but since we're, you know, talking, I want people to know how great this opportunity was for you and how huge it was. She's like the Beyonce of America, right? For Brazil, yeah. She's literally the biggest pop star. Like there's eventually maybe, but as of right now, there's no getting bigger than Anita. That's huge.
Yeah.
So with really that being said, that's on your resume.
Yeah, facts.
So how do you feel about that, like in America though? Like your next person that you may have the opportunity to design for?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, the thing is, so we're constantly thinking about who these people could be. A lot of times when I'm designing these things, the croquis I was talking about, the sketches of those bodies, a lot of times I'll draw in the faces of people. And so this collection, Chloe Bailey, Gautii was one of the people. Let me see. Chloe,
this will look good on her.
Yeah. There's quite a few people. I'm open, you know what I mean? I'm an artist. I like to collaborate. I think that my work is for everyone. I think that my aesthetic is very specific, but I do think that I can cater to a bunch of different aesthetics at the same time. But I don't know who would the next. I don't know. You know what's really funny? When I first started designing, a lot of things I was doing was very. I was very in sync with Lady Gaga. This is so funny that I'm even thinking about this right now. A lot of our work I felt were like companion pieces to one another, where I would do something and then she would do something and then I would do something. You know what I mean? And these things kind of, I felt like telepathically in some way we were kind of on the same wavelength. And it's so funny when I just released that jumpsuit, the white jumpsuit again, but in white. A couple of days later, her music video for Abracadabra came out, and she was wearing more or less that same thing. And so I kind of feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe she's the next person that I could work with because I don't know, our aesthetics, even before I heard any of the music from her more recent album, and I can't say that I've consumed a lot of her music in recent years, just because it hasn't, that music wasn't made for me.
Yeah.
Before I even heard any music from this next one, I was talking to my wife. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to really appreciate this next album that she has. So I don't know, maybe.
I like her song with Bruno Mars.
I do. Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, I like it.
That wasn't for me.
I like
that wasn't written for me.
I like his part. And then when hers come in, you kind of got to like just, it's not like it's like two different, you know.
Let me say this. Gaga is going to do Gaga.
Like it was like it's her part.
You know it's her.
Like it's like okay.
I was me and my sister were going to we were going to a liquor store, and I brought up what's that song? Is it it's Kendrick Lamar, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, I think.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how we got on the topic, but I had brought up Gaga. And I was like, have you heard the version with Gaga on it? And she's like, no.
I've never heard no version of Bitch Kill My Vibe. She's on there?
Yeah, she is. And she is very Gaga on the thing, okay?
Oh, I gotta hear this now.
Okay. It's a little funny. It's a little funny, but at the same time, she's gonna give you what she's gonna give you. Okay. And it's the same thing.
You either love it or don't.
She's a theatrical or a music theater singer, okay? And that's what she's gonna give.
And she also played my daughter is obsessed with like Harley Quinn and Joker.
Yeah, cool.
She played Harley Quinn, but she played as, like you said, she gave Gaga. Because I'm like, this ain't.
It was her.
The
even
typical,
her in American Horror Story. I was like, this is Lady Gaga. I love that though.
True to herself.
Honestly, that's I aspire to be that same level of greatness. For years, I've said that I want to be a Mortal Kombat character. And I would love nothing more to be a Mortal Kombat character, but be myself.
Yourself.
You know what I mean? And I think that's funny. I would love for people to start writing roles. Like I would love to be in the Blade movie, for example.
Yeah, and be you. Be
me.
It's a few actors out there that, or actors or just performers that they can be in a movie, but they're always themselves.
Yeah.
Like they're that strong of a character that they don't have to change character to be them. I wanted to talk about more of your future. Future goals.
Let's get into it.
What are your future goals for your brand?
So right now, I believe that the focus is job creation. I think that we're at a point where, and honestly, I've wanted this forever, but I think right now is the best time we've ever had, at least, to start hiring people. I would love to. I'm grateful for the outsourcing. I'm grateful for all the people around the world that help get these things together. I think that's incredible. But I would absolutely love to be able to hire my Chicago brothers and sisters. You know what I mean?
We talked about that in our second interview, and we spoke on like, I don't want to keep bringing up the other. It's all good. It's all good. We're both a little salty. Yeah, but third time's the charm.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to be called.
Yeah,
third time's the charm.
We're going to put a little counter on how many times you say third time's the charm.
Yeah. But I love that you brought that up because this is Black History Month.
Yeah.
So tell me about with Black History Month, what do you want to, like, we only have a couple weeks left.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals to accomplish with your brand helping our community?
I think visibility. I think that's one of the most important things. I think that's something that I am working almost daily, you know what I mean? To try to just, I don't know, get onto more people's devices. You know what I mean? It really shouldn't be this difficult, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Like, what do you mean by difficult? What are some difficulties that you're going through?
Okay. I don't think people really realize this. We live in a world that is algorithm based, in this digital world. And I think that although this digital world that we live in serves us in a multitude of ways, I do think that there are some instances where, just like with all things, where there's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
And I think that breaking through that algorithm, I think that that's crucial. Like a lot of times, like just a small example, like I'll be working on some bit of content, and then you have sounds that are suggested. I don't want, you know what I mean? It's like I'm a nigga from Chicago. Like I don't want any of these, if I'm being completely honest. You know what I mean? It's like the music that resonates with me, and then also not even resonates with me, like maybe even the music that influences work. A lot of times I'm very particular in the things that I play sonically, of course, like that's very important to me. So if I have a reel and I'm not using like a royalty free something, it's something, I'm very, very particular on what things I'm using, and it always speaks to the art. And so I kind of think that that's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? That maybe because I'm using this audio that is in tune with the work.
I think that's
it's
it
like
plays
because
a
I'm
part
not
on the
using
algorithm. I hate saying that word. I'm like, I'm
the algorithm. Yeah, it's it's wicked.
I think so because like some things that go viral because of the recommended maybe music.
Yeah, it
and
can.
If you don't pick that,
It can, and I never pick it.
And I think that's what happened with one of my videos. I had picked a song that was recommended, and it got 11K views, and I'm like,
that was nice.
But then every time I do what I want to do, so it's like trying to keep us in a box or something.
It's weird, and but also I do think that I do because I I do follow a lot of I don't even know what you would call them. They're people who specialize in this type of stuff. So like the CEO of Instagram, for example, he had a video out that was talking about all these different features and how to engage more with your audience as a content creator and things that you can do to kind of help inform. So not hack the algorithm, but help inform the algorithm so that it works to your advantage. So I consume a lot of stuff like that. I don't even know how I got on the topic of that.
We were talking about your future goals and how and then we were talking about how you
love how you're able to just reel it in.
I be trying. Look, I be trying. And we also were talking about this, it's Black History Month and how we only have a couple weeks left, how you can make a change or not even a change, but just like bring our community together into what you have going on.
Well, I don't know. I think that I don't know.
That's a big thing. That's a huge thing to try to bring our community together, like as one person.
Yeah, but okay. Well, actually, I appreciate you saying that because it goes back to what I was talking about before, with being able to hire people from the city.
You did say that.
So it's like even that is empowering. I don't know. I don't like the way the media portrays my hometown. I think that we're so much more than the little bit that they only focus on. I don't know that, and then also there's some dope artists. You know what I mean? It's like I'm an artist. You know what I mean? And I just so happen to work in fashion design right now. You know what I mean? It's like I've been a professional bunch of things, you know what I mean, that I'm not anymore. So I don't know, who knows? Maybe I won't be a fashion designer, in a few years.
Let's not say that, guys. Let's not say that.
You never know. That is so funny. We'll
see. If you were to be something else, what would you be?
Next, I'll start working in homes, designing homes.
Like a staging?
Yes. Or even styling homes.
Oh, we should get into that.
Yeah.
Because we can collab on that.
We could.
And that's another thing. I love that we're collabing and we're bringing back, because those watching, I don't know, if they remember, but I was Margaritas with Margaret.
Yeah.
And I still am, but then I kind of switched it up to Realtor Margaret. So I love that you brought up staging.
It's like
Barbie. Right, career Barbie.
Okay.
But no, I love that you brought that up because it's like, you like collabing. We like collabing. Yeah. We're collabing with the podcast. We're collabing with the fashion. Why not collab with other things too?
Yeah.
Like with the real estate, with the designing homes, that could like totally work.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, I would absolutely
in another episode. Look, we're going to have more episodes. Bring it back.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Last time we said that, okay, we had a complete malfunction and had no choice but to be back.
Right, but to be back.
Under grace. We'll do this again under grace.
Third time's a charm. Ding, ding, ding.
Girl, take a shot every time.
Right. Every time you guys, every time I say that. What is? I think I kind of already asked though, but this is more of like a personal reflection.
Okay.
So we're gonna kind of end it with our personal reflection.
Okay, sure.
What do you hope people take away from your designs? Like what you're wearing, what I'm wearing.
I wish we lived in a world that was not so judgmental. I wish that people felt comfortable presenting as themselves. I think that for a lot of us, we present with masks.
Yeah.
And so I think that my work is kind of a reminder of that. to not take yourself so seriously. You know what I mean? It's like I don't feel, there are some people who will feel uncomfortable wearing what we're wearing going to Walmart. Like, I don't care. It wouldn't matter where I'm at. Your boy's gonna dress, okay?
Put that shit on.
Man, yeah, it really wouldn't matter.
Shout out to you, sis.
Okay.
And I like that too, because sometimes like you'll forget, like when you say like be so serious, like sometimes we're just like, oh, what would I look like right now?
Yeah.
You need to just take a second, look in the mirror and be like, I am looking good.
Yeah.
Like this shit looks
why not?
Fire.
Why not? And I don't think that enough of us do that.
No, we don't. Because people just like, I don't know, like maybe like in the world we live in, you feel like if you're so confident in yourself, it could be harmful. Because people like just like you said earlier, that people will pull you to the side and compliment, like well, not people, but men in particular pull you to the side and like, I like your blouse. And it's like, why did you have to pull people to the side to say it? You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't be who they want to be in this world because you just, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like why? It's crazy that the way you dress could harm you. Yeah.
So even thinking about, and I would like to bring this up. Actually, this has nothing to do with it. But even thinking about the way transgender people present. So
it's art.
Yeah,
to me,
it is. I agree with you 100%. But you saying that it could also be a threat.
Yeah,
the way that, you know what I mean.
Or you can't even express yourself.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know, that sucks. You know what I mean? It's just really not. It's not that serious. You know what I mean? It's like my wife. If ever something's going on with any member of the family, she'll ask me like, "Do you want to know?" And my answer is always no. And there's no shade. I love every member of my family, but I don't give a fuck. Really and truly. I hope that you are all okay. And I'm sending prayers. But there's too much happening in my world, and not that I'm self-centered, but there's too much work for me to work on myself. You know what I mean? And it's like, but I'm also a husband. I'm also a father. You know what I mean? I really don't have time. You know what I mean? I really, like I said, I'll say a prayer, but like drama and stuff like that, or just gossip, whatever. She always asks me, like, you don't care. And it's like, I don't really and truly.
And I feel like that mentality though, not everybody has.
No,
and I think that's why you were able, and I really want to make sure before we end it that everyone knows how you even became a designer for Shein. Because on my way here, they were like, who are you interviewing? Because I haven't, interviewed in a while. Yeah. So I'm like, my bestie is a designer. I was like what? So cheers. I was like, is a designer for Shein. And, I always wear everything Shein. It's just like the little videos of like,
bestie is Shein, fucking crazy.
They kind of like, you guys kind of like adopted me as being your bestie.
Whole time. We love to have you.
I don't even know like how it like actually transpired, but like,
actually, I would like to get into that too. Okay, so going to your question first. Honestly, it's a long story, but I'll do my best to make it short. Right. So the first show that we headlined for Chicago's Fashion Week, we had done a few shows prior and got a little bit of buzz. And because of those few shows that we did, a jewelry designer reached out to us. And said they want to sponsor our next show. I was like, oh, perfect. We're headlining Chicago's Fashion Week. These are the dates. And they sent a bunch of beautiful jewelry. And in that moment, I was like, man, I had made it at that point because people were sending free shit, right?
Right.
And so we got those pieces. It was just a great experience. We used them and we added them to our archive. So we'll pull them out for special things, like if we need to. Different shoots or whatever projects. And it was just such a great experience. I just randomly had the thought like, man, it would be really cool if I designed some pieces for this company that sponsored us. I'm trying not to give too much away because it's a really good idea. And this was years ago and nothing ever came of it. But I think that we could circle back and do something like it. But really the idea behind it was very much what the Shein X program is, more or less, which was you do what you do and then I'll do what I do. And we'll come together and we'll do this thing. And so even though that never happened, I always had this idea like, man, it'll be really cool to design for somebody, for another brand.
Right.
You know
right,
what I mean? And so even thinking about like how Balmain and Margiela and who else? I even think, I don't want to say that, but we'll say those two, how they collaborate with H&M. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And so I always said like, oh man, and also I would like to say this. I've also, the goal of the brand is always to be at that level of Balmain, Versace, Gucci, Mugler. Those are my competitors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was always the goal. And so I was like, man, it would be really cool to work with another company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Long story short, I said that before and I made it long anyway. Just in passing, I came across something that was saying, hey, we're looking for designers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I clicked the link and it was a Shein X thing.
Wow.
And at the time, there wasn't really much information on it. I had seen Shein, I'd seen that name before, but I didn't quite know.
Because in 2020, Shein wasn't that as big, right?
I don't know.
I've been ordering since 2020.
Have you?
Oh,
I can. Well, no, I think a lot of people were actually, but prior to that, it was Fashion Nova was really big, huge, in fact, and then kind of Shein just kind of came out of
Shein is taking
nowhere,
over.
Yeah,
it's over. It's not over for Fashion Nova. Like I will. The only time I'll ever go on Fashion Nova is if I took too long to order in advance time, because Fashion Nova, the only thing that Fashion Nova has over Shein is the timing. Like you will get that 48-hour outfit from Fashion Nova.
Nice.
But you're gonna pay more.
Yeah.
Shein, they're getting better.
They are getting better.
They're
yeah.
getting better.
Yeah. So they have. I was gonna say they have a few distribution centers in the United States.
That's what's going on.
Yeah. And so I think that kind of like Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon will have their little hubs or whatever.
Right.
If it's closer, then that's where it's coming from, more or less.
Yeah, because Shein would be like, 10 days, and then it come 4 days. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Surprise.
Okay. We basically did go through all of our questions.
Okay.
Third time's the charm questions.
That is so funny.
But just to kind of like wrap it up, I just want to make sure that you said everything that you needed to say to the audience, because everyone is watching, wants to know how you became a Shein designer. You brought that up. It was basically just something you saw and you applied for it.
Mm-hmm. But I would like to clarify.
Okay.
I'm glad. Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to clarify. I don't believe that opportunity came out of nowhere.
Okay.
I think that opportunity birthed itself from the desire that I had to work with the company in this capacity.
Right.
And it's been incredible. It's been incredible. They treat me so well. Anytime there's an event and I'm there, 5-star treatment.
And I was incredible. There, guys. And that's what I forgot to bring up.
Yeah. The party.
That event was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was actually breathtaking. What even building was that? It was Wacker Drive, something.
Was it the
It was beautiful.
Is it the Regency? I think it was the Regency.
Maybe. We had valet parking.
Yeah, it was nice.
We had all you can eat, just beautiful, different what was it, sushi?
It was,
and it was like one thing that I didn't think was gonna be good, but then I kept like, bring it back. Hey, over here.
That's so funny.
There were so many people wanting to take pictures with you.
Yeah.
But they were afraid to take pictures with my friend.
Yeah, which happens.
And I had a little drink, so I'm like, excuse me, you want to take a picture with him? I was like, you want to take a picture right here, right here?
That is so funny.
And she was like, I was just gonna, I went.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and I think you inspired a lot of people that night and didn't even realize it, because it was one particular woman. I wish I could remember her name, but she was. I don't know if I had drank, y'all.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she was like an inspiring designer as well. So meeting you was actually bigger. Like you took a picture with her and everything, but I don't think you realized the magnitude of that picture for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was cool. I really enjoyed myself, and thank you for sharing that. I try to. This is another thing. It's like, as a business owner, you have to wear so many hats.
Mm-hmm.
And so like even at that event, it's like, okay, I'm networking, but then I also have to take pictures with the people that are there.
Yep, it was a lot.
And thank you for facilitating that. I also had to. We had a videographer there. And so that he was pulling us, he was pulling us to get like B-roll and stuff like that of the thing. I also had interviews going on during that thing. But then I also needed to be recording shit on my phone so I could create reels.
A lot, yeah.
You know?
And you did some amazing reels. You did get some good reels in there.
I borrowed a lot of footage. Okay. And what I've learned is at these events, I do my best to get whatever I can. But I definitely get as many contacts as I can. And after everything is kind of chilled, I'll reach out to those people like, hey, can you please send me whatever, because again, it's like there's so many things to do in those moments.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, but a great time. And they, like I said, Shein treats me so well. Yeah.
And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for inviting me there.
Yeah.
I drove on the Chicago Skyway for the first time in my life.
Really?
To get there. And I was like,
so funny.
Kaori, I love you. Because I was
okay.
Have you ever drove over there?
Yes, I have. We don't gotta talk. We don't gotta talk about it.
But I got there, and I was on time.
Yes,
you know, I'm not.
And you got us home. How about that?
Yes, I know.
How about that? I'm not sure we should say that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, we were.
That is so funny.
We shouldn't say that.
I'm sorry. Should we cut that out?
Right. Cut that out. I drove sober. I was very sober that day.
But when I was talking to my PR team for that particular event, what was really nice about this one, it was very different because I've done a bunch of different press related things with Shein. So I've done Fox, I've done NBC, I've spoke with Essence, I've spoke to a ton of people. We've done pop-up shops, we've done a bunch of things. Like I said, they always treat me very, very well. When they send the information for this event, it was different. For one, this was the first time I was the only Chicago designer because there's some other Chicago-based designers.
You were the only designer there.
Yeah,
it was like your event.
Okay, and so that was, and so it wasn't until like 2 weeks before the event I was talking to Monty. Was like, I think that I'm the only one because my other designer friends weren't showing up on the call list or the email, whatever. Shouts out to them. Marita is incredible. Desiree is also incredible. I'll do my best to link their things.
They're on Shein as well.
Yeah.
I love that.
Based out of Chicago.
There we go.
Yep. Really cool.
Black History
There
Month.
you go. Yes.
There we go.
And they had reached out to me. One of the PR girls. Hey, thanks. One of the PR girls had said to let her know if there's anyone that I would like to have invited from Chicago, basically, just anyone in the media thing. And random as hell, I feel like I was like mowing the lawn or something. I have the thought, I was like, oh, I have to invite Margaret.
I remember the call, guys.
It was so random. But I didn't even let you know. I probably called you like maybe a month later.
Really?
Like, yeah, but just the idea sparked in my head. I was like, oh, I gotta have Margaret there. I haven't seen any Margaritas with Margaret lately. And so that was just that. And so I reached out to them and was like, hey, here's her contact information, get her on the list. And that's just kind of how
the list.
Yeah. And that's kind of how that happened. It was so random. I just had the thought, like, I don't know. And we hadn't seen each other in years.
Yeah, we do that, guys. I don't know. Like
Margaret does that.
No, it's not me.
It's a Margaret. Shut the fuck up. It's a Margaret thing. It's a Margaret thing.
I was thinking that, and I think it's because like I'm always trying to do like all these different things. Like it's the Margaritas with Margaret, it's being a mom, doing hair, being a special education
selling
teacher.
houses.
Like, yeah, so like what else is she gonna do next? Like
I'm struggling
but
with this.
When I got that call, it's like every time we do call each other or we'll get back into with each other, it's like time did not. There's no time.
Yeah, no, you're the homie. You're the homie. And that's why I think this was also really important to do. Like I said, I've had those conversations or conversations very similar to this with Fox, with NBC, with
Did you hear, you guys? Did you hear that? Similar to Fox, Margaritas with Margaret.
But this is better, and this is no shade to those people. But you're the homie. You know what I mean? Just like you said, like there's been years that have passed, but whenever you come through, you know what I mean? It's like
no time.
It's all good, cousins, right?
Yep, cousin.
And so I don't know. It just made sense. It just started with an idea. I was like, oh, this would be cool. And then it was like, oh, and then maybe I can co-produce this episode with her. Let's get her a jingle made. Let's work on a logo. Let's do these things.
And I made the jingle.
That's so funny. That is
and I love that you brought that up too, because I keep saying third time's the charm, and they're probably like, why is she saying that?
Yeah.
The first interview was at the event, guys.
Yeah.
But we didn't have mics.
We didn't have the mics.
There was so many people there.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful background. Like, it was nice. That would have been great, but we just needed those mics and maybe more lighting.
Yeah.
But everyone was trying to, you know, obviously meet the one designer at the event. So then there was other
interviews too.
Yeah.
So
you did get some interviews.
I did like 6. Yeah, I did like 6 interviews that
night. I was drinking something.
but even before you got there, like I was doing interviews. For quite a while.
Yeah, because they told us to wait.
Yeah.
Here come me going to the.
It's all good. We don't got to talk about it.
You already know.
It's all good.
But yeah, we had to wait, and I was wondering why. So you were doing interviews first. Got you.
So yeah, I think I interviewed with 3 other podcasts.
Maybe I should have.
And then some other publications. I don't know who all.
Really?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to, like, at the end of this video, make sure that you guys are seeing what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna probably make sure to, like, kind of highlight that event, put something in there, maybe some little throwbacks in there, so everybody can get an idea of how amazing that event was.
Pictures don't do it justice, but it was a great time.
But we obviously could talk all night.
Yeah, we could. But
just one last thing.
Yeah.
How can we find you? Your socials and your socials, how to find you, and just things of that nature. I'm
Kaori Semaj on everything. Kaori Semaj. And then obviously we have our presence on Shein as well. Let's see. So if you want to find us on Shein, if you want to shop the collection, like I said, you can find that on Instagram for sure in the links. Or you can go to the Shein link box
and type in Kaori Semaj.
Or Kaori Semaj. Or you can type in Gautii, which is the brand.
Okay.
Or if you want to check out our curated collection that I was talking about earlier, you can go into the search box on Shein. That is BMNU9, if I'm not mistaken. If not, I'll put it over the thing.
Yeah, we'll put it over the videos, everything like that.
Yeah.
And I think we should do one last cheers to an amazing conversation with Margaret with Margaret.
Yes, this is so good. Thank you so much, girl.
And we finished our drink this time.
I finished my drink last time.
I was trying to keep it cute.
Do you remember last time we started with me choking?
And it was a good start, too. And I was like, well, what?
Yeah. Like, what happened? We did it.
And I have something to say about Melanie and Taimani.
Yes.
They are the Samoan versions of Serena Williams. No, for real. I don't know why I be thinking that every time I see them.
That's so funny. It's even funny that you want to announce it. You said like you have something really groundbreaking to share. I have something I would like to say. Shut the fuck up. All right, Jesus Christ. Is that still recording? Roasted your ass. That is
Margaret, shut the fuck up. I have something to announce. Ooh, Margaritas with the Margaret.